Let me talk to you about the chap, the old boy who proper kicked me in the old. Now, I'm not suggesting for one moment that this chap somehow sabotaged the bonnet cable, but it was bloody convenient. I soon realised that I'd been done over like a kipper.
Right, before we get into today's video, just want to talk to you about the Spring Raffle. The new raffle has landed here on the Car UK channel. And you can get involved in this new raffle for just £1. Now, we've got a couple of great prizes up for grabs in this raffle, including this, what I'm sitting in now, a 1991 first generation Nissan MICRA K10. The small, reliable car that changed the market in the 1980s with its simplisticness and its superb reliability. This lovely example has only done 78,000 miles, and we actually purchased it from a classic car auction just a few months ago. It's got stacks of history, it's been in the same family for many, many years. It's a really nice, honest, practical classic, and can be yours for just literally £1. But also as well, you will get a £1,000 bonus prize as well. So not only will you get the car, but you'll also get £1,000 in cash too. Now, if four wheels doesn't interest you, well, you're in luck, because we've got a two-wheel option as well in this fantastic Suzuki 600 Bandit S. This lovely, honest example has got 20,000 miles on the clock and runs like a dream. And again, a motorcycle that represented absolute superb reliability. The bike will come fully serviced and MOT'd as well, but not only will you win the motorcycle, but you also get £1,000 in cash as well. And if you don't want any of those two options, well, you can just have £2,000 in cash as an alternative prize. So our three main prizes to be had there: the Nissan MICRA K10 with £1,000, you can have the Suzuki Bandit 600S, again with £1,000, or you can have £2,000 in cash. They are your three prize choices for this spring raffle, and it is just £1 to get involved. There are also some sub prizes to be won, such as diagnostic machine and jump packs. Now, to get involved in this spring raffle for just £1, you need to get yourself in the link description. There you'll find bundle offers available as well, so you can just buy one ticket for £1, but if you buy more tickets, you'll get lots of additional free tickets. In fact, you can see the bundle offers on screen now. The more tickets you buy, the more free tickets you'll get, giving you even more chance to win. And remember, those free tickets are worth just as much as a paid ticket. But no matter how many tickets you buy, you will also be helping out charity on the back of it. We've already given away thousands and thousands of pounds to charities in our last draw, and we'd love to do the same again. So if you're able to get involved by getting in that link description, and hopefully you'll be able to win one of these fantastic prizes. So get yourself over to Raffle, guaranteed prizes, get in the link description, click on that link and get yourself over there today.
Evening all, welcome back to the Car UK channel. You join me here at the Car Pitch, where we're dealing cars under £5,000 retail. So, what has the last week been like? Well, we'll talk about that in just a few moments' time. We'll do a bit of a pitch update, go around what we've actually bought in, because we have bought in a few cars. We've even sold one or two, which is unusual because we haven't actually advertised anything, as we've been desperately trying to catch up with sold cars. And also, I'll have a bit of story time as well, as I talk to you about a chap who came in, well, actually a few months ago it was, but the car is still here, and I've been meaning to do this story for a while, who proper kicked me in the old plums when he brought me a part exchange in, and then, well, kind of say, basically, he just had me over. So I'll talk to you about that later on. But first of all, we're going to have a walk around the pitch, because I have got some new things in, including a motorbike as well, if you haven't already seen, which is not something that I would usually buy. And I've also bought a few other interesting bits, so let's go and have a look around. Right, where do we start? So, sold cars. We're getting up to date with sold cars. We've now got, well, quite a number of them out the door. We're down to about 4 now going out over next week, which aren't as urgent as the ones that have been pressing over the last few days. This is the last one that's going out today, another Kia Rio. We sold this straight away. Like these because these are 1.2s and the £35 road tax, and they're quite a medium-sized car, petrol, that still are, well, ULEZ compliant and have the cheap road tax, which is quite rare, particularly at this sort of price market. That sold within like an hour, 2 hours I think it was, when it went on sale. And the chap is on the way down to pick that up now, so that one's going out in a sec. I've also got the white KA as well over there, and that never even made it on sale. It was just parked up in the corner, someone came in and bought that. That's going out tomorrow. So once those are gone, we've only really got a couple of cars inside, with sold cars, a C1 and a Seat, which we'll have a look at in a minute, a bit of a progress update. And then I've got an Astra here, which we're going to work on Monday, a little 1.4 Astra, which again we've already sold to a chap actually who's bought a number of cars off us as well, so he's becoming our best customer. And another one as well we got on sale, well, pretty much straight away and sold, was this Astra Estate as well, which I say was quite an achievement, because I say we put it on sale, we just literally just put it by the gate and put a price in it, but we didn't advertise it. But someone rang up, had seen it in the background in one of the videos, inquired about it and bought it. And this is a really nice example we bought. So we've done 50,000 miles. We had it off an old lady who's basically gone into mobility. She's had all the wheels powder coated, had it all buffed up and a bit of paint done, and it looks absolutely superb. I even went home in it last night and it drives like the day it was new. So we've just pulled that off the front now, and we're going to get that in the workshop probably Monday. Might even get on it this afternoon actually and sort that out. You say it's done 53,000. Nice one as well, being elite with all the leather in it. So for someone who's not been advertising cars, we still managed to sell a couple this week, which has been good. But we do need to now start. Look at that old BM there, the rare old beast. We do need to start now working on getting some new stock on sale and getting some stuff cleaned up as well. I haven't washed any of the cars this week, so my valeter is going to be assisting me in a minute. We're going to be washing all these cars and trying to get some stuff on sale. As it stands, we've got the Volvo on sale, which is disappointing me because it drives very well. Had inquiries on it, but nothing much firm on it, which I thought would have flown out the door, because every time I've had Volvos on the pitch, they've just gone like that. This one seems to be lingering. I don't know why. Maybe I need to drop the price a little bit. Corsa, we get sniffs on that, but it's a typical 1.4 Corsa SE. 1.2s always fly out, 1 litres always fly out, 1.4s linger, unless it's like an SRI or something. But an SE, they just sit around a little bit longer than most of your other Corsas, but it will go. It will go. It's a nice thing. Suzuki Celerio, third time lucky. That is still with us. God knows why. I've given up trying to wonder why that's not selling. It's certainly not on price because it's one of the cheapest ones around, and it's 17 plate and it's about, what, just over 3.5 grand? Can't understand it. Eventually it will go, but I shan't be any rush to buy another one anytime soon, put it that way. Other cars we've got coming back next week. Unfortunately, I haven't got any pictures of them. I've got a Dacia Logan Estate, which is a bit paint as well. That's having some bits done to it. A little cheapy diesel one, that's coming back next week. Looks like a 2.5 grand car. Always good value, the Dacias. We've also got a 3-door version of this car, Rio, but a 1.4 petrol version. That's gone off to paint this morning, so that's going to be going on sale as well. That's going to be a nice little cheapie. I've got a ruck of 107s and C1s. We've got one there we're working on. I've got another 2 C1s coming in. I've got a 107, same car, on about, I think it's 11 plate, that's going to be landing any minute. And I've also got a new shape C1 as well, which is going to be landing as well probably Monday on a 14 plate, which is going to look really good value. I've also bought this as well. This is a strange one actually. This chap came in absolutely gutted. He had to sell me this because he's only had it a few months. But unfortunately, he's having his license taken off him for medical reasons. I think it's more to do with sort of having seizures and stuff, he was explaining to me. But unfortunately, they are taking his license off him, so he doesn't need a car. Obviously, he doesn't need a car. So he has asked us to buy this. And say it's a really nice example. He's, I think, the second owner of it. The guy who had it was a copper before him, and he seems to have really looked after it. I mean, it's a bit mileagey. I think it's done 110,000 miles, but it wasn't a day car, and it won't be a day car. It'll probably be 14.95. That, to be honest, it's only going to be that sort of territory. But what a bright thing in red as well. Usually, red cars can be a bit peely, shall we say. And there was a little bit of pitting on the front bumper. I won't lie to you, but what's the point of having it painted? It's in very good condition for its age already. I don't see the point in having it, made look like absolutely mint condition for sake of repainting a bumper for some little tiny bits of chipping on the front. It's pointless for a car that's 14.95. It will sell like that anyway. All I've done is just change the wheel trims because the ones on it were hideous. And I've got to change the gear stick as well because, well, I'm not quite sure what he's done, but he's decided to put a quick shift Sparco gear stick in, which is, not very good. So that's definitely coming out. However, it does drive very well, as most of these Foxes do. And it's a cheapie. And like I said, we don't get many cars under 2 grand, as we explained in the last video. So to have something like that, that's an ideal little runaround someone can use for a few years for 1,500 quid, with a warranty and a ticket and all serviced and PDI'd, is not bad. And you want to see the folder with that as well. It's about that thick full of stuff. The chap even kept his fuel receipts for his journeys. That's how sort of meticulous he was. It's always a good sign when you get someone like that. It means they've probably spent a shilling on it when they've had it in their ownership. So anyway, that is going to go on sale hopefully this afternoon. Start advertising those along with some other ones. Tiguan, loads of inquiries on this, but I've not quite managed to get it in the workshop yet and get it sorted because we've, like I said, been on the sold cars. But we're going to get onto that next week because I've got a feeling that is going to sell pretty much straight away. I've got people already after it, but I do need to get a lot of parts for it because it's had a little bit of a terminal MOT, a bit of a harsh MOT, and it does need some bits for it, like some cup mounts and stuff like that we need to buy, and some suspension bits, and a prop shaft because it's got a worn prop shaft bush. But we'll get it done, and then we'll have a lovely 4-wheel drive Tiguan on the pitch, which is quite rare for me. Another thing you can see looking absolutely spanking at the moment is, of course, the NISSAN MICRA K10. Those of you who didn't skip the advert at the beginning of the video will know exactly what this is all about. This is the Nissan K10 MICRA we bought from Angular Car Auctions, which, by the way, we're back there on Sunday. We purchased this along with the Mini, We'll talk about the Mini in a minute because that has now gone. And I've just had this actually sent off to be sort of buffed up, shall we say. Because it was a little bit, it's red obviously, and it just needed a little bit of tidy up in places, basically just mopping up and flattening and stuff to make it all look nice again. Because the problem with red is it does fade, red does. And I say this one it's not a perfect example, I'm not saying it's perfect by any shape or form, but it is really clean, and it's a nice example, it's an honest example, it's corrosion free. That's the main thing you want on a car of this age, and it drives absolutely spot on. I love this car, it is a superb thing to drive, it just takes you back. They said it's just such a nice car. And I've even got the keys here for it, which is actually another talking point. Can you see that badge there, Nissan badge? Someone sent me that, which is really kind of them as well. You don't need to do that. But that is an original dealer's badge, that is, keyring badge. So whoever sent me that, thank you very much, I do appreciate it. So this was one of the alternative prizes in the last raffle we did for the Mini, and this was an alternative with a big cash incentive behind it as well. But obviously the chap bought the, the chap took the Mini, so this has been left over. So I've had it all spruced up again, all the paintwork tidied up and the all buffed up, and now she's ready to go again in the raffle along with the motorcycle, which we'll have a look at in a minute. But say, superb cars these, 4-speed. You don't need 5 gears in a car this age, it's fine. And say, turn the key, and look at that, never in doubt, she's up and running. The old automatic choke system, which, to be fair, wasn't a very good system, but it works. So anyway, that is now on the raffle. You can see it in the link in the description below. It's £1 to get involved. We'll talk more about that later on. But we're going to have to get that MOT and service. I'm going to go underneath it, I'm going to underseal it, get it all mechanically sound underneath for when it finishes the draw in a few weeks' time. So that's a nice thing to have. We're going to have to cover that up soon though, because I've had all that effort having it all polished up, and the birds are going to come. They're usually on the roof there, the pigeons, so they must have gone for the dinner. And then come and shit all over it. So we'll have to put cover on that later on. Actually at the back as well, something else that I bought midweek, forgot about this, covered in dirt by the way, look at this. Look at the dust. This is like 2 days, 48 hours of dust in the road, and does what it does to our cars. Absolutely horrible. But this is a Chevrolet Lassetti, which I'm not a great fan of. The Chevrolet Lassetti, reasonably priced car I might add on Top Gear, if you remember, on 11 plate. Guy came in, a lad from Hong Kong he was, and he said, do you want to buy it? And to be honest with you, I just was like, no, because I just thought he wants too much money for it. I've only done 60,000 miles. It looks horrendous at the moment. We're going to have to mint it up. And I wasn't really interested in it until he said, oh, it's automatic. I was like, oh, okay, now we're interested. Because although it's not mint condition, let's be honest, but it's probably presentable under there. It can make it look presentable once you've cleaned it up and mopped it and stuff. But being auto, there is a value to that. Cheap autos are hard to come by. So we'll clean it up first, see how we go. If I clean it up and it's still a bit edgy, I'll just trade it on. I can make money without even touching it. But with 60k on it, if we can service it up and put a cam belt and water pump on it and do the service on it, and it does need a cam belt and water pump because, well, the water pump's leaking anyway, so we're going to have to do the cam belt, and it's probably never been done, we might have a car out of it. And for 500 quid, which is what I paid for it, if I can spend a few £100 on it and cam belt kits, servicing kits, clean it all up, maybe a touch of paint if it needs it, and you can 1995 it, where do you find an automatic car for less than £2 these days? They're very difficult to find. So anyway, we'll come back to that one because I say it's not guaranteed we're going to go on sale, but for 500 quid, I thought it was worth a roll of a dice, and I do like having a roll of a dice now and then. The car that definitely is not a roll of a dice, this is a lovely example, is this Peugeot 207 SW. And the family came in and basically asked us to buy this Peugeot and also the Suzuki Bandit, which is over there, as you can see. Just over there she is, looking lovely. We'll come back to that in a minute. But this Peugeot is a really nice car, on the 13. I think it's only done, is it 50,000, something like that? And he actually bought it from a local dealer I know here, who sells very low mileage stuff, so I knew it was a decent car in the first instance. We've just got to finish off a little few bits I want to just buff up on it, but overall, and a dent man just needs to just tidy up this little bit of arch here, just a tiny bit out. But other than that, I would go as far as to say it's not far off mint, and it's a really nice example with leather in as well, which is quite odd because most of these weren't really very well spec'd, the SWs, but this one's got the panorama roof, which is not broken by the way, and half leather, which is a nice touch. Sadly, not diesel. I would have preferred it if it was a diesel. If it had been a 2-litre diesel, that would have been absolutely amazing. Or a 1.6 I'd have settled for. I don't think they did a 1.4 in these, but diesel. But the diesel would have been better. It's a petrol, 1.6 petrol, which this one, it drives well. And the mini engines, which is Peugeot mini engines, Citroen Prince engines we call them, do drive well. But when they get higher mileage, they're not so bad when you get ones like this, lower mileage. And I've sold a few low mileage ones of Peugeot Citroens. But when you get higher mileage ones, 90 thou, 100 thou, they're just a bit problematic. So I would have been a bit cautious if it had higher miles on, but with such low miles on and the history of it and the way it's been looked after, I've decided, you know what, we'll have a go with it because it's such a bright car and the colour has sold at me as well, and it's an SW, so very practical thing. So we're going to get that in the workshop and finished off and serviced up. And I think I'm going to put some new rear brakes on it because they're looking a bit edgy. It's been stood for a few months. So we just plonked it there for now as we sort of start the next few days of trying to get stuff prepped and trying to get a pitch full of cars again and start the advertising. The old motorbike's here now. We've given it a bit of a clean up earlier on. We're going to get this in the workshop next week and start that process of tidying this up. Although in fairness, it's actually quite tidy for a bike that's left to fester in the shed for the past probably 12 months. So it's a 600 Bandit S, and it came off the same chap who passed away who had the Peugeot, and he said it wasn't something that we were actually looking to buy. It came up literally in a conversation when we were on about the Peugeot, saying they had a bike and basically they wanted to sell them both together. So we ended up having to get it, but I'm glad I did because what a lovely old bike it is. It really is. And the Bandit S's were quite unique as well because the S's had the different front end on, the twin lamps and stuff like that. And the 600 model was, from what I'm told and from my little knowledge of experience of motorcycles, which is, say, modest, was actually a really reliable bike. So it's a really nice example, and it's also the alternative price in the raffle as well. So we're going to have the MICRA with £1,000 of cash as a prize option one, or the alternative prize option is you can have the Suzuki Bandit S with £1,000 of cash as well, or if you don't want either of those two prizes, you can have £2 in cash. And it's only £1 to get involved. So make sure you get yourself some tickets in the link description and get yourself involved in the raffle. And anyone who's sitting on the fence about buying a bike as well, maybe you've got a bike licence and the wife's saying, oh, don't want you on a motorbike, just buy a ticket, and if you win it, she ain't got an option, has she? Right, in the workshop, well, we've got the C1 in the air. Those of you who watched the last video will know what we're doing to this. This is all having all sorts done to it. Pump, shockers, oil leak. In fact, it's actually done some of the jobs since the last video. Pop that under. So we've done the service. It's on the links that we speak. And we've got rid of the, well, we can just see up there, plate once it's been real resealed. It was leaking, so we've got to clean all this off now. And then the gearbox mount's gone in. So it's progressing slowly through it. Slowly is the word, I'd say. Tyres are on as well. So yeah, we'll get on with that. This one is a Seat Ibiza TSI version, FR. This is not the silver one. The silver one, by the way, I've basically give up with that and I've traded it out as I've had enough because I've spent so much time on it, and I do appreciate everyone coming up with suggestions, but I tried every single thing from changing wire looms to crank sensors to getting an electrician involved in it, everything, and we were spending far too much money and getting nowhere with it. Fuel pump issues, pressure issues, we tried everything and none of it was working. Even keys didn't make a difference. So I don't know what was wrong with it. So we just basically decided to get out of it, and we did manage to get out of it with the trousers still on, which is always a bonus. So that headache is gone, and sometimes when you get a car like that, you just want to get rid of it, you know, move on and throw the money into something else because you just get some problematic cars. And at the end of the day, when you're buying stuff from auctions, let's be honest, if you've got a problematic car, where's it likely to end up? An auction or via We Buy Any Car? Same thing, really. So yeah, these things do happen. Anyway, this Ibiza has not been giving us any issues on regards to starting or anything like that. It's actually been driving absolutely superb. Nice engine, the 1.2 TSI. The only problems really on these that go wrong are they do like to leak a bit of oil, should we say, on the 1.2s, TSIs. And this one has definitely been leaking a bit of oil. It was everywhere. Also had a coolant leak as well, which was down to the water pump, which has been changed. But also this one's been leaking on the oil cooler housing. So a bit of a strip down, if I'm honest with you. So basically this gasket here that goes, which we've got from Volkswagen, and it leaks down the block and goes onto the front near the alternator. Absolute nightmare to get to it, but it needed to be done for the sake of a £11 seal. So that's now going to get built back up and get that back together, clean it all off. Hopefully we've cured the leaks on it, and then we can crack on with the rest of it, which, to be honest with you, doesn't need a lot. We want some rear shockers on it because it's a typical Ibiza, and every single one of them are always destroyed on this year. Horrible and bouncy, so just put new ones on because they're cheap. Some brakes on it, a couple of tyres really. That's probably really what we're going to do with it. Oh, service. And sort out the heater motor because it sounds like there's a man in there with a big hammer. Basically the motor cogs is broken and it's making a bit of a banging noise, which is again common to Ibizas, but they're easy things to fix. So hopefully we can progress that out and get that out to the customer next week, because again, that is a car that sold before it even made it on the pitch last week. Just sitting in the corner and the chap came on looking at another Ibiza we had, which is already sold. Saw this one, asked about it, and we just took a deposit off him and said, look, we'll get it ready for you, come back. If you like it, you can commit to buy it and say, yeah, he had that one. So good news there. Right, anyway, let me talk to you about the chap, the old boy who proper kicked me in the old bollocks when he part exchanged me his Vauxhall Mariva a few months ago. In fact, the car is still here, even after a few months, because, well, it's going to need to be fixed in order so we can even just get our money back out of it, or I'm going to have to take a massive loss on it. But let me show you the car and give you the story behind what has happened. Right, here is the car in question, a 2011 plate Vauxhall Mariva B, honestly, with a 1.4 turbocharged engine in. Now, I do sell Mariva Bs like these with the suicide doors in. They're actually quite a practical car. Excuse the mess, it's been stood here for months. But the suicide doors on them, they're very, very practical. Just looks inside now, it's all gone mouldy, which is great news, isn't it? But you can tell it's been stood for a few months because the tyre's gone flat and it's got a bit of penicillin in there. But there's a good reason why it's stood here and it's not been sent to the auction, which is where I was planning on sending it. And that's because, basically, I gave a man too much benefit of the doubt. So basically, a chap came in before Christmas. I'd say he was probably mid to late 80s. He was a particularly older gentleman, and he wandered in with his stick and basically was interested in a Astra H we had, which was, I think, a 58 plate, one we got from Aston Barclay. I actually bought it on a bit of a whim, potentially just as maybe just a trade car, something I could just maybe get a couple of £100 out of and just move on in the trade. But when I drove it, I actually realised, other than just wanting a bloody good clean-up, it was a superb car that had been well looked after. Put it straight on sale, and the chap walked in the next day and basically put a deposit down on it. Now, I did have me a little bit of suspicion with why he was part exchanging this 2011 plate Mariva, because he was going down a few years and it's a similar age of car. Sorry, it's a similar size of car as well. So when you go into an older car that's a similar size, not always, but usually it's because it's probably got mechanical issues or something like that, or there's something not quite right with it. Most people go up in the sort of age scale, they don't usually go down, unless they're downsizing. So obviously I asked him the questions, how long has he had it, is there any issues, and I was told point blank that it had no issues and he had it for a number of years, which was true. He did have it for a number of years, but I wouldn't say I didn't have any issues. Now, I was aware that it did have, for instance, stiff gears linkages, which I was aware about. I went on a little bit of a road, run up the road and back, and he said it was, although stiff going in gear, it was operating absolutely reasonably fine. And we knew exactly what was wrong with the linkages, and it's not difficult to sort out. They just basically want taking off and greasing. So I thought, right, we wanted to get the Astra deal done, and it was during that period in December when we had a little bit of a slow patch, and I was keen to get the deal done. So I probably gave 150 quid too much for it. I gave £700 in part exchange. This car would have gone to the auction. We wouldn't have retailed this car, sorry. We'd have sent it straight to the auction because it's a 1.4 turbo model. It's an appalling engine. We sell the 1.4 aspirated ones only. We don't sell the turbocharged Vauxhall engines 1.4s because no matter if it's in these or the Astras or the Mockers, they're just a very, very bad, unreliable engine, particularly of this sort of era. They'll be absolutely fine because I know someone will be screaming on the comments now going, I've had one for 5-6 years and it's absolutely brilliant. Yes, if you've got a 17, 18 plate one, you'll have no issues. But when they get to 10 years old plus, trust me, and if you don't believe me, go and ask Chops at Chops Garage, or go and ask other people who do YouTube as well who've had these cars. They are horrible when they get to higher mileages. It's not a great engine, the 1.4 Corsa engine. Bolting a turbocharged engine to it is the most ridiculous thing I've seen since Rover decided to bolt a turbo to one of its K-Series engines. That's how bad a mistake that was to do. It's just not a good engine. I say when you get to a certain age, they just are pants. So I just don't retail them, don't bother with them, and if I have something like this, just say, do you know what, find out what it's worth, give the man a fair price for it, and get it gone to auction. I don't care if it goes there and blow 50 quid, 100 quid on it, it doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. You just write it down slightly, and you've got a car sold. And particularly when you weren't selling much at the time, it's always good to get a deal done and dusted. And obviously you wanted more for it, but eventually we settled on that 700 quid. Went round it, other than just wanting to clean up and sorting them linkages out, I didn't see any reason why we wouldn't get our money back and maybe even make a little drink out of it at the auction, because it could do about 700 quid to £1,000 on 11 plate. So anyway, we went up the road in it and it was absolutely fine. Didn't have any issues with it. I said I only did it on a very short test drive, which is my fault. Come back, park it up, give him his price, put a deposit down on it, and that's it. Basically then, he then went away in his car, and he only lives literally around the corner, went away in his car. A week later, we got his car ready. He came back, dumped it outside, came in, did the docs, got in his car and left. Now, what I couldn't do at the time when I was looking at it, is I couldn't get the bonnet open, which was really not a major concern because I went up the road and it drove reasonably well. The reason I couldn't get into the bonnet was because someone had sabotaged the bonnet cable. Now, I'm not suggesting for one moment that this chap somehow sabotaged the bonnet cable, but it was bloody convenient. Because when eventually we did get the bonnet open, we then established that not only was it all emulsified, all the engine, and it had no coolant in it at all, and consequently when we get it up to temperature and we start it up and had it all up and running and we actually want a proper run on it, it boils over. I soon realised that I'd been done over like a kipper. Now, in fairness, you could turn around and say to me, well, that's your fault, you should have done your checks. But we didn't really have access to the bonnet, and it drove reasonably well, and the chap, who was a bit older, basically said to me he'd been absolutely fine, he'd had it serviced recently, it was all in tip-top order, there was nothing to worry about. And I took it on face value. And that's just me being a bit too honest, maybe. And someone will say that you deserve it, that's fine, no problem. I don't care. I will sleep easy tonight, don't worry about it. But I just thought the chap at that age might have just been a little bit more upfront with me because at the end of the day, I was fair with him. But there we go. I have been proper done over on that one. And at the end of the day, what can we do with it? Well, if it's sent to the auction now, with it boiling over, it is going to basically make nothing, probably 300-400 quid for bits or something like that. So now we've got to go through the horrible process of trying to basically fix it up so we can either trade it out or you can just get it through an auction. It's basically got a knackered water pump, and also as well, if thermostat isn't working, which is the typical course of problem, then that's why it's pressurising and boiling over. And who knows, maybe it's caused head gasket issues. And if it has caused head gasket issues, yes, I mean, we can get the head gasket done, you can take the cylinder head off. It's not actually that expensive to do a head gasket these days, but it's just massively time consuming. So to do all that work, just to basically send it to auction to get the money back is not great. So there we go. Anyway, it's my fault anyway for not checking it over properly and maybe being a bit too naive, but there we are. Anyway, there we go. I'm sure people will be in the comments now basically telling me that you're an idiot, you should have never trusted him, you should do your job properly, check it over, blah, blah, blah. That's fine. Look, I'm human just like you, and we all sometimes make mistakes, and I've been doing this job for many years, and even now I can still make the odd error or make a bad judgment when it comes to looking at a car. No one is infallible. Because really I should have took a different approach and just basically, what I don't like doing is try and kick people in the old plums when it comes to part exchanges. When I'm dealing in cars like this, I always try and be fair with people who are bringing me very similar cars in part exchange, because a lot of them we can actually go on with, and we have built up a bit of a reputation, particularly locally, of being quite fair with the cheaper cars. I mean, if you take an old car to We Buy Any Car, they'll give you some ridiculous price and charge an admin fee on top. Whereas you bring them somewhere like me, where I actually want to try and buy these type of vehicles because this is what I deal in. I don't necessarily work off a book price so much. Obviously we take it into account, but there was many times when I have paid far more than the book price, because for me that is what I'm trying to buy anyway, and I understand that when I go to auctions I have to pay fees on top, so I don't mind spending a little bit more for a nice car. Or an example like this one, where the MICRA, where I'm trying to give a fair price so I can basically get the deal done, because the chap wants X price, I want to give Y, and we'll try and find somewhere in the middle, but I've also got to think of what's the exit strategy to that. And when there's a little bit of a dishonesty and a bit of naivety on my point, it just messes up all the deal. But there we go, such is life. Anyway, right, moving on to next week. What is the plan? Well, it's prep. We're going to get a lot of the cars that we've been purchasing over the last week or two in the workshop and start to prep them and get some stuff on sale, as we've now seemed to have caught up with those sold cars, start advertising again, looking forward to it as well. And we do need to get some cars prepped and on sale and sold quickly, because I'm actually going away for a week towards the end of April. So we're going to have a week of trading lost. So we need to make up for it by getting some cars on the pitch sold and getting some bums on seats. That is the plan anyway. So make sure you check that out in our next update video, where hopefully we can show you some new vehicles and some further progress on what's been going on here at the car pitch. And finally as well, you know what I'm going to say, raffle tickets, get yourself down there in that link description. It's only £1 to get involved, and you're helping out charity on the back of it. And in fact, actually, before we go, charity, of course, the Mini went the other day. So the last raffle we did at, I think it was end of January it started and finished early March. The chap who won the Mini Cooper, it went all off to sunny Durham. He actually had it collected the other day, as you can see here. I got waved it off, which I was really sad about, because I really like that car. But on the plus side, we made someone very happy. And more importantly, we actually raised thousands and thousands of pounds for charity. Donations have already gone off to Cancer Research UK and to local charities here in Crewe as well. We've been supporting a local dance troupe down the road. They've got 100 kids that basically go all over England competing in dance troupe competitions. And basically kitted out all 100 kids, male and female as well. Some lads do dance, you not watch Billy Elliot. So I'd like to thank you for that as well, because say we've got 100 kids there with happy faces. And as well, we just made another donation this week to another local charity, sports charity, who deal with disabled kids, supporting not only the children with activities as well, but also the families with disabled children, called Hopes and Beams. And we're going to be supporting them a lot more going forward as well, because they do some amazing work in the community, helping out families which, let's be honest with you, if you've got a disabled child, you need all the help and support you can get. So charities like Hopes and Beams being there for families and the children, giving them activities, I think is an absolute brilliant cause, and someone we're going to be supporting more going forward. Plus, I'm open to suggestions for this raffle for some further charity donations. So if anyone's got any ideas, get in the comments. Always send me your thoughts and ideas, and let me know about anything else you've seen in this video. So thank you again. I'll see you all in the next one.